make community growth as easy as scrolling TikTok. Packed with real deal.
Yep. All right, guys. Welcome, welcome. So sorry we had some issues, technical issues. But we're going to finish where we left off last week. Now, we're down to the last 2 weeks of this seminar session. And we're going to kind of just highlight some of the things that we talked about and where we're at. But there were 3 very, very important parts that I wanted to highlight in this particular series. 4 important parts that I wanted to highlight in this series for your betterment. One was assets versus liability, understanding the foundations of your financial health. That was what we talked about in week 1, and the objective was introducing economic development savvy mindset to the audience, highlighting budgeting savings at home, taking that same concept and applying it to your business and the community. So we moved on to measuring success and ensuring accountability and making sure that we understand what accountability is, how it applies to our business, and how it's going to get us to the next level. We're kind of just breaking down the seminars. If you have not seen it, go back and go check them out on Secure Your Energy. This is our promotion page for Primetime Home Buyers. And we are in partnership with Fulton County Library, so shout out to them. Thank you so much for doing this, and there's so many other projects we're working on. So we moved on into stretching every dollar, building and saving for low income. Now, the reason why we talked about that, because we wanted to take those same concepts and learn how to apply that in our community, and then figure out what needs our community needs alongside with our business development plan, what we want to do. Because the point of the business plan that we're creating is to reflect at least 2, I want to say 3 to 5 years, but I have to not be, so extreme, at least 2 to 4 years of the projected future of your business. And that includes where you're going to be located, how you're going to play a part in the market. That market includes a community, especially if you're a physically based business, if you have a brick and mortar. So we went on to building bridges and not barriers, understanding these community-based activities that we can do as business owners that not only help us market, get to know the community, have fun, i.e. we gave you an example of maybe coming together with the business owners on a particular street and have a cookout, or maybe have a field day for the community, understanding that it may have been, people who are in need, that needed things for back to school, or in my case, when I was living in Jersey, it was a high crime rate, so the community got together and we started doing activities and we started focusing on positive things and bringing that vibe. But we also got to know the businesses there. They volunteered, they had tables there, they gave us food, those type of things. So this is what I want you to incorporate, in your head while you're creating your business plan. You don't have to put all of that into your business plan as far as community development, but it is good to show the lender that you already have your feet on solid ground with at least your community that you're catering to. So today, what we're going to be moving forward to, following last week where we went into market analyzation, and not only are we looking at our community, where our business is going to go, how we're going to get our product out, but we started looking at our competitors too. And we talked about doing simple Google searches where you can literally say, okay, how much does, I always use the same example, soap. This soap go for bar soap versus liquid soap. How much it takes to create it versus having one that's pre-made and packaged. You do all of that. Then, as well as this was part of last week, because this is going to bridge into today, because now we still have to present something financial to the lender. Okay, you got to tell them what we're going to do with the money. So this is why we're pulling some of what we did last week with looking at the market and giving them some assurance, like, hey, yeah, they looked at the competitors, they see how much this particular product sell, what's the big market for it, that's what we said yesterday. Simple Google search will lead you, and that's what they want to see. So now today we're going to be getting into, just before we get into our last part, is creating a robust financial projection for your business planning, the essentials for creating a successful, detailed financial projection. I know I said a lot, but that's what you want to do. You want to say enough that the lender is not asking you too much of nothing. They see that you dotted all I's and crossed all T's. So if you don't remember some of the concepts that we went into when it comes into business plan, you guys can get a business plan template anywhere. If there's anything missing that we have talked about that you don't see in your business plan, add that section to it. It is very abstract, it's very editable, but we want to make sure that we have these key things that we talked about prior, which is the executive summary. I gave you a 5-paragraph layout of the executive summary and how to incorporate, letting them get to know who you are, how you're expert in your business, what are you going to be bringing to the community or your business sector. Just in that little executive summary, you'll be introducing your business, the description of your product. We went through that. I went into company description. That's different from your product. My company description, it's me right now. This is a legal structure. I'm an LLC. My target industry is this particular industry, and my unique value. Now, you're getting a little bit more deep because you talked about your product, you talked a bit about you, but now you went into company description and make you, allow you to give them more of an insight into your niche, your specialty. Then we went into market analyzation last week where we touched what market size you'll be getting into, who's your target consumers, who's your target competitors, and we talked about the competitive analysis. And a couple of weeks ago, and I'm gonna make sure I make that video very, like, just big, when we talk about the organization of your business organization. They do want to see that. We talked about that, and I want to make sure that you guys add that because it's going to talk about your potential. The business plan is like a dream, but it needs to make sense. So in that particular segment, you'll be saying, hey, I'm a one-man band, but I plan to have this, I plan to have that. We talked about that. That's why I said, the things I said we talked about, you can pull that from those sections and start to pull them right into this. It is kind of repetitive, but it's just about how you're structuring the information for them, okay? They have someone who's just gonna look at the financial analysis of your business plan, and they're gonna say, okay, we'll be able to. You have someone who specializes in business structure and the concept. There's probably more than one person that will look at your particular loan. Just keep that in mind. It depends on what organization you go to. So today we're gonna get into getting funding. Marketing, okay, let's see. We're gonna put something on the board for you guys so you guys can follow kind of what I'm looking at. Thank you so much for being here with us, being consistent. Just want to give you guys a heads up. Next month we're going to be doing something a little bit different, where we're going to be holding this monthly, and we're going to do 3-hour sessions. And I'm going to see can I box. Well, we probably do it monthly. We're going to do 3-hour sessions. I'm going to be here twice in a month though. I'm going to be hosting another free seminar which focuses on the real estate, and then I'm going to be focusing on this business development session. I think that people can do this in 3 hours. I really do. And highlight the important things that I was highlighting here. A lot of the things that I talked about in the first 4 to 6 weeks is mindset, structure. So if I can divert people just to go look at that video and really those videos and really just listen to them and then implement them, it'll kind of save us every week coming here for, it's literally 3 months. I have a 3-month layout. So that's what we're going to be going to do most recently, just to give y'all a heads up. Can you see the board? This is where we're going to be following today. The people online, you will not see the board, but you will be following me. Thank you for being here. I have enough papers on my thing to get rid of some of this. Let's go. So, this is a little bit about the executive summary. Let me just give y'all a little breakdown. So seeking capital to launch or grow your business can feel like navigating a complex maze. And that's some of the things that we broke down. Whether you're cashing in to do a startup or you just want to get a competitive gain, one document remains the most powerful and must be well crafted when it comes to a business plan. And that is formally the blueprint that the lender will follow that will help persuade them on your argument, which is the opportunity to get a loan, all right? So you need to, one, speak their language, address their concerns. Does that make sense? I'm kind of summarizing some things here, but if you need to see it, this is where we're at, but I'm summarizing the introduction for you. So you want to address some of their concerns as well, and that's what we're going to be doing with all the information that we give them. You want to paint a clear picture. So the lender grantor mindset, what are they looking for? Before you even start and put yourself in these other people's shoes, they're going to be giving you thousands of dollars, and they want to make sure what? That you're honorable and that you're going to be able to pay them back. Or at least you're going to be trying. Lenders are primarily concerned with repayment. They want to see that your business has generated significant revenue to cover the loan principal and interest, and that you have a backup plan. Wait. I know that was like, but I'm going to tell you this. With a well-crafted business plan, you can secure a loan without having a significant amount of income. I have done that. I'm going to actually refer you to the organization that allowed me to get my first $40,000 business loan with a hope and a dream. There's a lot of lenders out here that's not as strict as a particular bank, and that's some of the things that I'm going to give y'all some examples next week, because this will probably be robust. But you can go to personal lenders. They have people who are, what do they call themselves? They call themselves, it's right at the tip of my tongue. They're private investors, but yeah, it's a whole website. I got it for you. It's right at the tip of my tongue. It'll come to me. But it's different ways that you can go about getting lenders. You just pick them based on the criteria that they want and what you fit. And that's why I was able to get a loan through ACE Women's Center. I fit the criteria, not only being a woman, but also having a well-rounded business plan, having my credentials together, being a professional, and having my credit history together, and showing them that I'm active in what I was doing. And I was not generating a lot of money, i.e. I was investing in tax liens and tax deeds. I created an online program because I noticed that there was a lot of risk. And me being a nurse as my first profession, I felt that that's what I wanted to do for real estate. So this was something really new to the industry, who knew about tax liens and deeds. And I said, I'm going to create my own niche. I'm going to, take my legal research skills and put it there where I can teach people how to research real estate. They loved it. Nobody's doing it. But then the next thing was that I already had assets. I was already successful in it. So I didn't have a lot of customers. I didn't have a lot of people, but I did have things set up, automated. I showed them, the potential on top of within my market analysis, just to give y'all some example. I showed them the housing market. I showed them how people were being locked out. Eventually, they're going to want to know this, and I needed to be prepared. And I'm not saying, I'm not saying that I'm, special or not special, but I think if I can do it, a lot of people can do it. That's just what I'm saying. So we're going to get into some lenders next week and some other type of forums that you can go to do crowdfunding as well. Because when you do crowdfunding, they want a business plan. So you'll already have it. When you want to go for a grant, what do they want? A business plan. You literally can pick these things that we have talked about and start plugging them into the avenues of where you need to go. So this is where my passion has come from, just to kind of plug it into today what we're talking about, okay? So the lenders want to make sure that you can repay them and you show honorability, because 9 out of 10, you probably don't have business credit or a lot. You just probably have a line of credit. They're looking at your original credit, no matter if you're an LLC. I don't care. Okay, that's just what they do. That's why in the first 4 weeks we talked about getting your home together, being realistic, saving what you can save for your savings, and saving what you can save for your business. while you're seeding your plan together. You have a whole 6 months of revamping your household. It was hard to look at, okay, I really have this amount of income and my lifestyle is hit this. We trained ourselves the first month, and now we're taking that into our business. That's where we're at. So, and the lender looked at all of that. So the grantors are focused on the impact and the alignment of your mission. That's what I said. At that time, there was a lot of people into tax lien, tax deeds, but now they're into alternative foreclosures. They have to know this. Now everybody is being their own business person, and they want to be their own specialist. So this is really a good way. It fits right into the puzzle now, and you need to know how your product will fit into the puzzle now or in the near future. You are a puzzle piece, but your puzzle piece has to fit in too. That's why it's a two-way street when you're looking at business development. It's not my idea, mine. You're trying to fit into the piece of society. You're trying to fit into where you're going to be most successful as well. So, while the ultimate goal defers both the valuability, the credibility, and the clear path to success, that's what they're going to be looking at. The value behind it, your credibility, and the clear path to success. So key components of funding a winning business plan, again, is just summarize the executive summary. Summarize the executive summary. And it says, think of this as your business elevator pitch. Right now, you have your 3-minute elevator pitch where you go outside because nobody can hear a whole bunch of stuff. So this is right here at the beginning. You should be concise, 1 to 2 pages, but you're going to be thinking about a 1 to 3 minute elevator pitch. I'm already getting y'all to be prepared to be outside. Compelling enough to make the reader want to dive in. That's part of your executive summary. So that's when you're introducing yourself. For funding, briefly introduce your business, the problem that you're solving, your solution, your market, key target highlights, guys. Oops, I'm still moving down the thing. And your management team, or yourself, who's going to be doing it, and your funding requests. This is in the first paragraph. We're crafting the financial projection of what we need. We're starting to talk to them, okay? So in this first paragraph, you want to say, hey, this is the business, you're reintroducing it, this is solution. You have this, so you're kind of paraphrasing it into 1 or 2 sentences, but then you come into this paragraph with a hook and say, this is what I'll be using it for to better equip my business via marketing, or allow me to buy these equipment that I need that I know is going to give me a projection of this, because my competitors, as you get into detail, they're using the same equipment. So again, in this particular part, in the company description, yes, again, it's a company description, but for this particular company description part in the funding is a clearly define the business unique selling position. What makes you different and better? You introduced what was your product and your niche already, but now you're just going to get a little bit more detail. What makes you better? I'm catering to myself. I said I'm catering to the minority, people who are lower income, the people who I thought that I was taught by about the tax lien and deed process, lawyers, people who are very advanced, people who have a lot of money. But I have learned now that my niche is going to cater to people who are lower income. I'm going to show them how to do it just like how I did it. So that's where within that financial projection, that's when I started to give them more detail of who I was catering to. Outlining my goals, both short term and long term. The first year, I want to be able to teach 100 people. I can do that on my online website. I want to be able to distribute 1,000 soaps. I can do that via my drop shipping. I already have it set up. I do monthly pop-up shops. I sell about this. These are all the things that you want to incorporate in that financial projection. You're showing them what you do. You're like, I just have a financial projection of $500,000 because that's just what I Googled online. We showed them what we Googled. Now we about to put the picture to it now of what we're doing, just a little bit more. And they're showing your interaction within your sector. Does that make sense? So now let's move on. Within this section, we're going to go on to the next market analysis. This is funding, provide the data, the insight, again, the growth. This right here, you don't even have to rewrite. If you have a chart, you can put it there, or you can see C section here, where we did market analysis. You can reference it. Like right here, they'll love it. They will love it. They'll love it. I promise you guys. I'm a scholar and a geek. I know what these people, they love it. Okay, they show that they're making you do a little bit of research, and you know what you have wrote. You have done that. So now you just show them back. Now another thing that I did not talk about, and I didn't put it inside of my business plan, the SWOT analysis. Do you guys know what that is, guys? The SWOT, the strength, the weakness, and opportunities and threats. That's something that can be summarized in a paragraph. Sometimes it has been taught to me to have 4 boxes. It has SWOT, SWOT, and that is really good. And you can do that every couple of months. But just to give you a heads up, the SWOT analysis is kind of when you were talking about your competitors. You see what I'm saying? That's when you did your SWOT analysis and didn't even know it. Mm-hmm. I'm just giving you the words that they like to hear and put in the picture so you can utilize these same words and avenues to present. It's all about presentation. Okay, so again, organized management. We did a whole 45 minutes on that about your organization, how you're going to sell it, how fast it's going to get out. Right here, detail your organization structure. You already did that, but you could just briefly revisit that. Introduce the key management team. You did that already. You want to highlight the relevance of your experience to the role. You did that already. Resuming from the apex that we already addressed this. This section builds trust and confidence in your ability to execute the plan. If you have an advisory board or someone that is kind of like gonna show them that you are getting expertise. Me, in this particular section, I said organization and management just to add a little bit more. I said I deal with lawyers, and the lawyers are the ones that I learned from. So they saw like, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. So organization and management, and then I said, I deal with lawyers and I consult with them, and it's usually no more than $100 per session. Financial use of their money. You just showed them, again, build on your structure. We already talked about the structure, so now we're pulling in the little money elements to them so they can see, okay, now since I'm a one-man band and I want to expand, now I want to consult with a marketing manager. This is how much it costs to run a Google ad. This is the stuff you're kind of saying, this is what I want to do with your money based on my structure that I already told you about. We're just building on what we already have. Product. If you're going to
Hello, Moto.
I'm sorry, y'all guys. That's my backup. It's my backup. It's nursing. Okay. Now, if you're going to use this to build your product, you're going to say, hey, well, in the beginning, we introduced our product. This is what we sold, but this is actually what the loan is for. I want to add another type of product. I'm going to use soap again because that's the thing pop in my head. I want to do liquid soap. Now we need to deal with a manufacturer that actually can do it. We did our research to make sure that our emulsion is up to FDA or whatever you need to do. But this is showing them what you need to use their money for. This is showing them how serious and structurized your plan to advance. This is future financial projections and what they'll be using their money for. So funding, again, we described our product, we described where we're going, we're moving forward, the customer's needs, because the market is growing. We believe that we projected that we can make this amount, but if we get this new product, they don't have nothing to ask you. because we just filling in the holes. And now as we fill in the holes, you're thinking about your product. You're thinking about how you can build on it and how the customers respond to it just by us talking about these things. All right? I get excited because I like that. I love it. I love it. I do. Okay. I do. It's like orange soda. Let me stop. Okay, I'm moving forward. Okay, I'm gonna have to liven it up just a little bit. It's like a lecture. This is what we used to do in nursing school. Had to crack a joke, wake everybody up. Now, marketing and sales strategy. If you're gonna be using it for that, you're gonna be talking to them about that. This is what we were saying. This is the product and services. Marketing and sales strategy. How you will convert that hungry audience into a paying audience. Outline your specific market, the channels, the digital social medias. You already have this stuff. I do myself on Facebook Marketplace. I don't recommend that, guys. But you know what I'm talking about. Whatever avenue you use, you're already saying, letting them know where you are your PR events. If you're going to be doing events, how much it's going to cost for the future. I have a budget of these events average about $200 to get a table. I want to do twice a month. $400 for the next 6 months. That's what they want to see. For 6 months or whatever. But you're giving them, because at the end, if you ask for $40,000, you want to show them how you're spending that money. Within my budget, I even was being so responsible that I said the first $7,000 is on hold to ensure that I can pay you guys for the first month, 7 months. And they was like, whoa. So they actually restrict the budget, and I wanted to make sure, and this is what I was showing them. And it did give me a buffer because I used it exactly how I said I was, hoping everything worked out. And, as we say, we do the business plan, we convert it over, we mutate it as we grow. But they like that. They was like, okay, she has her income and a little business and a little asset too. And she's planning on saving this, but it's no reason why we should be in the red. But these are, because we're selling the dream, but we want to make sure that we can kind of live that dream up, that it's realistic too. This financial projection is really realistic. Y'all see how I'm saying, go back to what you planned. Go back to look how much that it costs to get this product out. I do 100 products in a week, and it costs $7.99 plus $10, $17, $18. This is what they want to see. And then if I project to do this, then you take projection in the parentheses, how much your product, and they see it. That's all. They love it. They love it. They love it. All right, so that's your marketing and sales strategy. Kind of like the next part that you see that I went into is marketing and sales strategy. That's what we were kind of talking about with it intertwined with the products and services. Again, because whatever product and services you're giving out, you got to know where market and sales strategy is going to work, because where you're selling that. Facebook. Do I run Facebook ads? Do I just make funny posts? Whatever. This is part of your marketing and sales strategy. You can even tell them, I have over 15,000 followers who I engage with all the time, and anything I put, they support. Put the link in there. Put the link. I'll put the link in there, like, go check it out. Come follow me. Yes. Because the better you do, and if they support you, you're just like I'm doing with Ace Loan. I'm talking about Ace Loan today. You guys are going to go check out Ace Woman Loan, and you're like, what is that? And it's a really good program that they even follow you after the loan to help you take more classes. If you have a business advisor that's there for free. This is so you learn. So we will share Ace Loan with you, and I'm not an affiliate, guys. I just wanted to let y'all know that I was just someone who was a recipient. So funding requests. Basically, everything that we just talked about should encompass your funding request. This funding request is the amount you're requesting, $40,000. Be specific about this, okay? The use of the funding. This is where you're going to pull a chart out. Yep. All you got to do is go right there on Word document, and y'all know how to put the boxes there. And then it says use of funds. Itemize exactly how the money will be spent. We just talked about that, but now you're just putting it in the chart for somebody who don't want to read your paragraph. You ain't giving them no excuse to say no because you're showing them everything. Example, I'm using it for the equipment that I mentioned. The equipment costs this much. I'm using it for inventory. So what we talked about in the summary, you're gonna show them in a chart. Salaries, if that's included. The impact, within this funding part of request, you're gonna say the impact, what is expected to achieve from the funding, what it will enable you to do. Hire more employees, service the community, service your company, increase productivity. Whatever it is, that's what you're gonna highlight. The next most important part, repayment. See, that's why I already said, I'm taking the first $7,000 and gonna give it back to you, because I wanna make sure that I don't take nothing out of the business, because we're still growing at this point. So they love that. But again, repayment sustainability. Detail your repayment plan, including projected timeline and how your business will generate the income to cover it. Mention any collateral. And that's what we're gonna be talking about next week. The importance of acquiring assets. And y'all know I'm gonna talk about real estate. And I'm gonna show y'all how to get into foreclosures and the method. What I'm teaching you is basically to go anywhere, land lot, wherever. I want you guys to do y'all due diligence. So when y'all get these properties, when y'all go get this loan and say, just like I was able to do, I had a piece of land, 1,700 square feet, worth $4,000. That was just the one that I could use. The other one I couldn't because they were up in deals. And they saw that I had property, $4,000 in actual collateral that was in the business name, not my name. Because we already set our stuff up correctly with our LLC. We have our separate bank account, even if it got $1. I told you guys, if you believe in your product, go get it trademarked. Go get it patented. This is your intellectual property. This is your goal. If you believe in it. And you don't have to rush to do it. At least learn about it, though. At least have your stuff together. When it comes to trademark, I had to learn a lot about that. And even the picture, the quality of the picture, things like that play a big role if they're going to accept your trademark. So these are things you learn now. And when you're ready, you just move on in, guys. We're preparing a year ahead of moving forward to submit a document like this. Yeah, it took me about 6 months to do my business plan, so I really took my time. But yeah, it wasn't an overnight thing. That's why I'm so detail oriented, and they had nothing to say. So look what that goes to say. That's why I want to share this method. So the funding, again, the repayment, the projected outcome of that's if you're doing a grant, because I showed one with the loan, the detailed repayment, including projected timeline and how your business would generate the income to cover it. Mention any collateral you offer. Projected outcomes, and for a grant. If you're doing a grant, clearly articulate the measurable outcome and the impact of the project. This is very important, guys. You know what? You have to sometimes pay grants back if you don't use it correctly. Yes, guys, don't think that grants is free. I've learned that by following a town out in the south side, and they took grants, and the people in charge didn't use the grants right. And they came back to the city and said, oh no, you gotta give us $500,000 back because you didn't utilize it right. This is the same thing they can do to us. Remember that grants are not free unless you use it correctly, so this business plan applies. And that's why I said it within your business plan, you just structurize this for the grant part and just articulate the measurable outcome. That's what they wanna see. In 2 years, by me using your money, I'll be able to have a playground, whatever. The impact your project will have and how it will be sustained beyond the grant. They want to know how you're going to sustain it, just like when you're doing investment. So, financial projection in this particular part of your presentation to them, because that's what we're doing. The language of money. Be realistic, but be optimistic. Be realistic, but optimistic. I wanted $60,000. 40 was okay. Because whatever. Something's better than nothing. So for funding, this is often most the scrutinized section. include the startup costs, and whatever it is, just include what you have done, what you have put into it as well. The sell forecast, you just reenter it. This is the most important part. That's why we focus on market analyzation and now financial. This is where everybody lacks in the business plan. So let's summarize. The sales forecast, realistic, based on what you do. How many people come to your website? How many people come to your page? That's where we get lost. That's even where I got lost. Get lost in a hope and a dream. But realistically, all right, profit and loss statement. We know these things. And y'all, I'm gonna sound like my nursing instructor. You know this. Because in the first week, we talked about a profit and loss statement for our home, our house. How much income we come in? What is the extra liability? What do we pay up front? Our normal living, what we do extra. This should be on right there with your profit and loss. Don't it sound similar? Because you like what you're spending in your business, what you profit. That's the same document we used before. Cash flow. Cash flow, simple bank statements. Banks are really good at these apps to show you your cash flow, where they're coming in. Crucial for the lender to see if you can manage liquidity and make payments. That's why they're looking at your bank statements, guys. We've been working on that for 6 months now to a year. We have one account that pay all our house bills. It don't have to be on automated, but we got that one. We got one that's a savings for us. We got one for our business, and we probably only can save $10 a month each one. But it's separate. They see where all your consecutive bills coming in for the last 6 months with no issues. Presentation. Does that make sense, guys? Presentation. And if you have extra money that you're spending, and don't do it in a little play account. Don't do it in that account. And don't start doing it when you're going through the loan process. We talked about it earlier, because you see because you have your little play account that you put $50 in and you left them cards home. You got some self-control, and you ain't got no more than $50 to spend. That's how we started getting our self-control in the beginning for now. So it's nothing. We're not lying to this entity. We already got these practices down, okay? It's all about honorability too. So the balance sheet, snapshots of assets versus liability. This is a balance sheet that they'll like to see. Also, the lender, if you're ever having any problems with your loan, they are very flexible. It depends when you come to them ahead of time and you start showing them, hey, this is what's going on right now. This is my liability. Some things change. This is my assets. You already had this set up, so you can just show them if you need to modify. Have a relationship with the entity. Know that you can trust them. Don't just go to anybody, too. I'm really funny, guys. I don't deal with certain people because they're into bad things. So once I hear it, I'm like, oh, can't go there. You know, it kind of shut me down, but it's okay. I'm not seeding into that stuff. But at least I feel really good with whoever I deal with, you know. Like, I like Discover. They have good rates sometimes, and they're really flexible with younger adults. So they have another home equity line of credit that they're starting to do. So I said, I'll maybe look into them. It's because of the relationship I have with them versus that I don't trust Bank of America. I would never. Does that make sense? So don't just choose based on what sounds good. It's all about asset versus liability. Because what happened with Bank of America and some of their loans, and y'all heard all. Let's not go to the side. If y'all heard anything about them. All right, so just to finish off with this financial projection section for your lender, you have the balance sheet. That's why I said my business loan was like 30 to 40 pages. Y'all thought that I was just typing, but we already had things already that we just filled in. The balance sheet that we had from home, or what we did, now we just pull in our business stuff and giving it to them. They don't have nothing to ask. Key assumptions, purely state the assumptions behind the projection. Customer acquisition, average order value, the growth rate. Be conservative but confident. So that's why I said you can't lie. If your industry is $1 million industry, like if you're selling car parts, you can say it's a projection in this particular area to sell to these customers because you based it on what you actually research. No lie. But then you do want to equate it to how you can get that product out. how connected are you into the industry? You don't want to overestimate because you know this is a multi-million-dollar business. That's when I say be realistic. Does that make sense? Meet them in the middle. So let's start to sum this up. We're getting 40 minutes into this. For funding, include the supporting documents. Again, these are the supporting documents just to give you a list. Maybe if they want a resume, it depends on how deep your business go into. If you're dealing with medical something, you'll have to show some resumes possibly. Letter of intent from potential customers or partners. If you do have someone that's going to partner with you after you get your lending, this is somebody who's credible. Or me, I partner with the public library so they can verify that I'm here every Wednesday. They can verify that to the lender that, oh, she has an outlet with the actual city library. Does that make sense? And I ain't say we make a lot of money, but it make your character look a little bit better. Let's go on, okay? Market and research data, that's already there. You already have that in there. If it's any charts and stuff from what you talked about that you pulled up, that's where it's at right here. That's it. You just plug, because that other ones was just paragraph, but now the charts is just right here. Your permit or license if you need that, any legal agreements, product image or type, prototypes if that's what you need to show, personal finances statements as what we talked about, because it is based on your personal financial foot when you're a first-time lender in a business that's not making a lot of money. Supporting data or grant proposals, that's if you need it. That is community need assessments. Again, what we talked about earlier, getting to know how your product can help the community. So now, if you need this part of your stuff, and you're saying, I'm catered to this community, this is how you plug it in, because we were talking about the community needs. We done had an event this year, just one time. We just went in, we had I'm speaking in hypothetically, like you're getting yourself together, you went to a market event for your community, or you went to a community event and you were able to market, you got a table. Those type of things where you're expanding yourself through the community and through free-based things, you want to show that. That's currency. People, connection is currency. It's not always about money. That's currency. So that's the adjacent papers that I'm telling you guys. Be part of an organization if you want to. Small Business Administration. I've been part of Small Business Administration, and I have these connects. They don't have nothing to ask you because we told them everything. Okay, so we're summarizing this up. We're at the last part of our business plan because next week we're going to show you how to acquire assets. And that's in the realm of real estate. So we're going to be talking about the different avenues. I'm literally going to show you how to go to each place and start. But the most important thing is what I teach, what makes my niche, is showing you due diligence. For you to be, you see how geeky I am? You're going to be geeky in your own field like that. That's what I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just going to go deep down in the trenches. You know, you see one person like that, you're like, all right, it's just a vibe. We passing that today. All right, so be clear and concise. Avoid jargon. I hope I did today, guys. Get straight to the point. I know I can talk and rattle, but that's what you want to do. Be clear and concise in your business plan. Thorough research. Back up your claim. Don't just talk about it, be about it. Statistics, credibility. It makes you more credible. And once you're used to doing this, you're going to be able to spot credible people, uncredible entities. Because you're going to be asking these questions. You're going to be looking for these things. Because you know how to do it. Now you're going to be protecting yourself from liabilities. And we talked about liabilities is not only the things that you have to spend money on. Liabilities are relationships, mindsets. Yes, your kids could be a liability, your husband. We have to figure out what's a liability, and we're going to have to separate ourselves from or get some heal to it so we can move on. Because this is a negative factor in our life. Our energy is going towards this one. We could have been right part of our business plan. We arguing with them. Does that make sense? That's why I said it's a mindset too. We're not trying to just throw people out, but when you got a plan, we on a short clock right now, guys. And we have to, my main goal for this business economic forum was to show you guys how important your business is to the community, how you can branch it into the community, and how it can help you get control as a business owner to become a leader. Because these connections you have, you're going to be able to take that and start pushing policies. You're going to be able to talk about the things that your community need or your industry need. Because you build such a robust connections around you, plan, people. We're trying to put the strength back in, how can I say, the strength back into the middle class that they're trying to eliminate. Everything is controlled by big corporations. Why? Because they got the bucks. They're selling the products and we're buying them. That's the difference between us. They're lobbying the money. We can't lobby, so they don't need to hear us. We're still the consumers. Let's switch the focus, guys, okay? So that's my passion. All right, tell your plan, always customize your plan for that particular lender or grantor. If they're a Black organization, woman organization, you mention that. You get to know them. If you're going for a grant and it's coming from a credit card company, a science company, when you go in these grants, there's so many different. You want to get to know them. They probably offer you mentorship. So don't just go applying for things just because. All right, lastly, practice your pitch. Your business plan is a static document. What does that mean? It's ever growing. But you'll likely have to present it. Be ready to articulate your vision with confidence and answer the questions. You'll be able to, because we put so much time in each one of it, and we showed you how everything reference and connect, that you're gonna be able to present this if you have to anyone, a lender, a partner, anyone. This is your guide to help you keep your business in your vision. This is what a business plan is for. So I hope you learned a lot today, and that helped you kind of really look at some key elements of the financial projection when you create your business plan. I know many people don't go in so many details like this, but I hope I was able to fill in the things that was not taught to us. And that is my plan. So with that being said, next week, please join us at 2 p.m. We will be live here, and we're going to be getting into the real estate aspect. We're going to talk a little bit about diversified assets, like portfolio assets too, but I'm a real estate person. And the two things that I focus on that I think that they cannot take away from us or they have not devalued a lot is land, gold, and your knowledge. So with that being said, hit the like button. I want to say thank you for being here today. God be the glory. I'll see you guys next week. If you don't know, we will be in Atlanta. We have a food giveaway. Today is Sloppy Joe Day. We're at least going to be feeding about 65 people today, okay? We're on a budget, but we got it. Hit the like button, and thank you for supporting us today. All right, thank you so much. Let me know